Hey shiny lights, 4 things to tell when it's not a spirit guide. Number 1, it's not a spirit guide if what they say isn't uplifting, if it doesn't inspire you in some way. If you're hearing negative comments, criticisms, downers, it's not a spirit guide. It's not a spirit guide, point number 2, if they interrupt your daily routines. If you have to change your life somehow in order to accommodate the presence of this spirit guide, it's not a spirit guide. It's not a spirit guide number 3 if they don't go away when you tell them. Spirit is intelligent. They are here to help and they're here to guide so that if you are going, hey, it's too much, I don't want you around me, they will back off. If there is something around and it's bothering you, it's not going away, it's critical and it's not giving you uplifting messages, it's not a spirit guide. Hate to break it to you. 4th tip, it's not a spirit guide if they tell you to do stuff because they're guides, so they guide. They can't tell us what to do. That's not part of their job, and a spirit guide would never do that. So if you're experiencing something or a being that is telling you, hey, you know, do this, do that, like ordering you around, it's not a spirit guide. All right, so what is it then? If it's not a spirit guide, what is it? Now you might know I deal a lot with spirit release. I deal with the darker end of the energy spectrum too, and I'll let you in a little secret. Most of the times I get called in to do spirit release sessions, there's no entity, there's no attachment, there's not even a demon. You know what it is mostly? It is somebody's thought form. It is something that, it's like a runaway train, you know, a thought that just gets momentum and just goes and builds and builds and builds. And what can happen is that thought form will get its own energy and it will build because it's getting fed by guess who? Guess who's feeding it? Yeah. Part of being intuitive, part of being psychic is also having a really vivid imagination, and I totally get that. And like I've said before, there was a time when I felt really pursued, when I was very convinced of the presence of negative energies and entities, so much so that I did the study to learn how to clear them, which is where I do my spirit release work. But as I traveled more and more on that path, I realized a lot of it is in our minds. We create it because we are so powerful. We are so powerful. Like a runaway train, stuff can get away with us sometimes. It's okay. You're not crazy, but you also don't have an entity either. Here's a little checklist. Some questions you might want to ask. How much screen time have I got? Am I constantly kind of like getting that flick dopamine fix by being online? Try measuring that as opposed to the quiet times. What's your spiritual practice like? Do you have a regular meditation? What are the things that you do to keep yourself grounded and stable and balanced? Because those things are going to really affect that runaway train, thought form kind of stuff. Start putting into practice some basic grounding tips because you're really in charge. You know, and as attractive as it is to think it's a negative energy, it's an attachment, it's a spirit, you know, that's great because you know what that means? I don't have to do anything about that because, you know, the problem's outside of me. Guess what? Dun dun. Owning up to our own energy is one of the first steps in spiritual growth. We get to own the good and the not so good. So how about looking at what your screen time is? How's your meditation practice? What do you do to chill out and just connect to the gorgeous part of you, the bigger, higher, lovely part of you? And if that means shutting down the screen, if that means maybe choosing the websites or the Facebook feeds and things that support the higher part of you rather than support the fear stuff, make those decisions and take a step to being a healthier, more positive energy field, and you will feel the difference. So, recap the 4 points. It's not a spirit guide if that was Bruce, did you hear that? The 4 tips when it's not a spirit guide. If what they say isn't uplifting, if it's a downer or critical, it's not a spirit guide. If it makes you feel less than, not a spirit guide. If they don't go away when asked, not a spirit guide. If they're telling you to do stuff, not a spirit guide. Guides suggest, they don't order you around. And if you've had to change your life in any way to accommodate the presence of this new thing, it's not a spirit guide. I'm happy to chat about this more. Leave a comment below if you'd like me to chat because I understand that it's a really big deal. and it can be frightening, but I'm here to help. So I hope you've got something out of this. If you have, subscribe down here. Thanks a lot, Shiny Lights. See you next time. And